And just like that, the final episode of the recording session has begun. Welcome back to Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. I'm your host, MegaShadowFist. It's like a video gives us like a commentary when we last left off. We presented the crime photo. Now we need to show what is exactly in this should not exist. Probably this tweet that I just got randomly. Let's see here. No, but really though, let's see. What shouldn't exist? What would prove that... Excuse me. Something about this is off. Now, there are two things that we could present him, but that wouldn't make sense, would it? So there's something in this... something that should not exist in this photo. I'm really curious about this, though. I'm not quite sure. It's going to take a man a lot smarter than I to come up with an idea. Let's see here. Something... perhaps... I don't... We have to try something. That's wrong. This is what should not be in the picture. I'm sorry, I'm afraid you've lost me. I suppose it's up to me to clarify the defense's claim. That something that shouldn't exist is clearly him. Wait, I've changed my mind, Your Honor. The last thing I need right now is a scalding hot cup of coffee. Scalding hot coffee shower. Very well. Gather your thoughts, Mr. Wright. In the meantime, the witness will repeat his testimony for the court. I would be delighted. Okay. So the mirror was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims, where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. After the terrible incident occurred, I would move the mirror so it was not in the way. That was the last seat at the table. What if the picture itself was actually a reflection? Let me see. Like, that would be stupid, but I don't, no, we don't want to present it. I almost presented it by accident again. Okay, so, well, we're gonna go by the 10-minute rule, so if it takes me 10 minutes takes me 10 minutes to figure this out, I'm gonna have to look it up. What should be missing from this picture? Like, what is here that shouldn't be here? A photo of the scene taken from near the kitchen. Okay, so let's look at the, X is the victim's seat. Okay, he was there. That's the kitchen. Okay, that's a perfect angle to take the picture. But... I feel like I'm on the right track, but I can't quite figure out what it is exactly that I need to present. Okay, so we're looking at this from here. It's taken from the kitchen. That would be the perfect spot. Now... he was there. I don't know, I'm pointing at the screen like you guys can see. Check the check button for details. It's the victim's seat. Let's check the photo. What is it that's here that should be... Are you gonna say like the silverware or something? The fact that like it's completely nice and clean or something? Sure, I guess we'll go with that. Like, I'm just like, oh, you know, it's all nice and tidy and everything, so, like, that would mean that, sure. We'll go with it, I mean, cause... what is something that should not exist in this photo? But then, again, that sounds really stupid. Like, I feel like this is really stupid. No, this is wrong. Okay. This is completely wrong. Ugh, what should it be then, huh? No, I don't want any coffee, man. Okay, so let's look at everything again. We're gonna go on for 5 minutes. The mirror was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. Okay? There is only one seat from which you could have seen the image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That which was where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. Naturally, I did not... Okay, hold on. No. We're gonna check the court record real quick. You did not touch anything else. There is something there that should not exist. Is the medicine there? Is the medicine in the picture? Let's check the crime photo. Oh no, I didn't! What? 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 We could present this for anyone? What is this? So they should not exist in this photo. I didn't, but, maybe, like, his medicine is here or something. I can't really make it out. The graphics are too low res. Let's go with it. Okay. Or maybe this is just, like, the game, like, messing with me or something. I didn't mean to present that, though. Not yet. I still don't have a clear thingy. Okay, so the mirror was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat, the table next to the victim. That was the old man. That was where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. Okay, so what? Victims here found covering identified. Could we present that? Like, that was my initial plan, but they keep wanting us to, like, show that something should not exist in the whatchamacallit. We'll try it, but I think this might be wrong. Yeah, it's wrong. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly contradicts the... I thought... You don't sound very sure, Mr. Wright. Objection overruled, and now we're gonna get our first guilty thing for the court case session. Yay. Nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, guilty. Okay. The opening trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. Court is adjourned. I don't know. I just like the medicine or from save point. Now that if it's would please clarify its state. Oh, I saved right here, didn't I? What is this something that should not exist in this photo? Why is this something that should not exist in this photo? The body itself. I don't know. Well, we already proved it shouldn't be the vase. That doesn't make sense. We already proved that. What is... I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Because it's been basically 10 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and look this up. I'll be right back. Okay, so actually what we're supposed to present was the vase, because I completely forgot about this. But he said that he broke, like, he broke his own vase and got water on him, right? So I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with the witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Oh yeah. Victor's testimony. Let's look at it. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. There we go. There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, Shrike. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly! There is only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in the Tribune that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu! Don't try to confuse the court, Shrike. Obviously the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Goda, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else! Except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? Huh. You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Shrike, then this problem is all yours. They're probably gonna ask us to present evidence, so let's go ahead and save. I suppose so anyway. Who knows? I don't know. Do you not know? No, because you're Lady Von Karma. That's why you don't know. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you going to be... Excuse me. Okay, can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Mr. Kudo made a mistake, the ear doctor made a mistake, the victim was a phony. What? Now that would be a plot twist! The victim was a phony? The ear doctor made a mistake. Mr. Kudo made a mistake. No. The ear doctor made a mistake. That doesn't make sense. The victim was a phony. Sure. This case is riddled with contradictions, yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Now this is interesting. I love it when he does that. Ugh! Order in the court! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom! Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? Why don't you clear out of here, huh? What did you say? Trite, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was the servant girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's a servant girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but there was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there was no other customer in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. That's right! Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la, this is the most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath after all. Was there in fact a phony at Tribune that day? The defense demands that Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day. Oh, we... In the restaurant. La victime, monsieur, elle came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got the word it won Rotterimo, Elk became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for a phone to do the acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all? Je vous t'en pardon, forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted the mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later. Oui. For now, we will hear your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. In the restaurant. Don't forget to save, folks! You always gotta save. Save game and suspend play. Yes, please. Do not turn the power off. Suspending game. Continue. From save point. La victime, monsieur, came to my restaurant alone. Was he alone at his table as well? My, oui, I saw him from la kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Ha! Unfortunately for you, trite. Yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. I remember that old man arrived not long after him. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Oui, it comes often for my special coffee. I drink your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make so happy! Make you so happy, monsieur! You are most welcome anytime! I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. How many minutes after? What time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no! I cannot remember, monsieur! I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 o'clock p.m. and 2:10, no? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful. I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? The time of the day will be added to the witness's testimony. Oui, monsieur. George, everything I do it for you. Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. I remember the old man arrived not long after him, just after 2 p.m. There were no other customers. So your only customers were Mr. Kudo and the victim. How many times do you need to ask the same thing, trite? You'd never catch me drinking the same blend twice. Huh? You're trying to establish the pressing of a phony victim in the restaurant, but you're wasting your time. You can't grind birdseed to make coffee, if you catch my drift. But there's a hole in this testimony somewhere, I'm sure of it. When he won the lottery, Elk became very excited. Did you see him? No, I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. I remember him jolting. Yes, Alpha Million Books. Presumably the defendant heard that too, then, correct? Maggie? She looked like a poor little frightened dove. And what about Mr. Kudo? The old man choked on some birdseeds that got stuck in his throat. It seems we now have yet another incident on our hands. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. And what were you doing at that point? Without any customers, you must have had time to kill. I am a multi-talented woman, monsieur. Sorry? What do you mean? There is la renowned chef Joe Armstrong and la tragic poet Clarice Armstrong. Good Clarice! Oui, I was writing a poem and an angry tale of a chef and $500,000 of debt. Cooking for a man who won $500,000 on the lottery. It is called Pourquoi. It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for la court? Please don't. No, there was no time for a phony to do la acting. You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred? I asked the old man to call from la payphone. By your own argument, right? The purpose of this phony victim's performance was so the old man would see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, this opportunity would completely disappear. Indeed. Bien, it seems la shadow of la doubt has been lit, n'est-ce pas? I guess Mr. Armstrong is connected to this case, huh? Absolutely. Someone was impersonating Mr. Elk and I refuse to believe he was oblivious. He was there the whole time after all. But if you're right, wouldn't Maggie have noticed too? She fell unconscious when the incident occurred, remember? Ah, you mean that's when the phony staged his act? We'll know for sure once I find a hole in this testimony. Okay, let's go ahead and save, please. Why don't we? Suspending game. Continue. Load from save point. La victime, monsieur. I remember la old man arrived not long after him, just after 2 p.m. Are you absolutely sure about the time? When I think really hard, I am sure it was just after 2, oui. It is la time I stopped serving la lunch menu. Quite right, I always break for lunch when the restaurants are serving their specials. I've been known to wind up a case early just to make it on time. Hahaha. You shouldn't admit something like that, Judge. I guess you should never get between a hungry judge and his lunch. Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already. Oh, no. Witness, get on with your testimony, please. Okay, so let's look at everything first. I feel like this is what we have to present evidence for, but the victim, Monsieur Elg, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him, just after 2 p.m. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Elg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes after that the poisoning occurred. No, there was no time for a phony to do the acting. You see, there's something very wrong with that though. Because there were no other customers. I remember the old man arrived not long after him, just after 2 p.m. Now, here's the thing. If we check the time of the Millionaire Radio Flyer, every Monday at 1:30 p.m. So, this might be incorrect, but we're gonna try it. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. What? What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week they announced a winning number of $500,000 lottery ticket. Oui, that must be la show Mon Elg was listening to. Mon Elg, I say. I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving my lunch menu. Get to the point, Wright, if you have one. That show was broadcast live at 1:30 p.m., and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30? Now, supposedly the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! The victim we've told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listen to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there are 2 Glen Elgs in Tribune that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elg acting out the events of Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if it wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Quite a performance, Trite. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elg is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at the time the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours? Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? Let's go ahead and save first before we do something so absurdly crazy and just out of my league. All the things I believe. Yeah, you're just the right kind. Oh yeah, you're more than just a dream. From save point, can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there, and that customer was a phony Glen Elg. Then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor? No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Glen Elg concealed? We'll say it was inside Tribune. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribune. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Well, the only place I could think of would maybe be the kitchen. Perhaps you would care to show the court in these plans, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside Tribune is... Well, the only logical place would be the kitchen, unless you just decide to pull out some crazy stuff like he was hidden inside the cash register, or he was hidden, like, behind the door, just in plain sight. Well, let's go to the kitchen. The body was hidden here! I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? Would a small bottle really count? I don't... Sure! Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No! I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life! I only use the very best bottles, monsieur! The highest quality only for me! Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribune. Eh? Quoi? Well, I only ever use the bottle for my aromatherapy oils! But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day. I hate that word. You can't be serious. Or, you can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elg. Glenn Elg's murderer hit the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hit the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No! Order! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elg? Never! I could not do such an horrible thing! No! Mr. Godot? The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend? Je vous demande pour that, you must hear me out. It is a trap, listen to me. Por favor? That's Spanish. Or is that also, okay. Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. Look, I took 4 years of Spanish, ladies and gentlemen, in middle/high school, so I know that I was just maybe it could have been. Then what? How do you say please in French then? It has to be something similar, I imagine, since they're both Romance languages. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? No! 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 Absolutely no! Let's hear it. You've got one shot, right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. Oh wait, it is clear. Why do they always say, what do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well, begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. The confession. It is true, I ate la body in la kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it, you must believe me. You were forced? By who? I cannot say, or I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table? There was another man. I knew it. Maggie was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get to tell him the name of the real killer. In confession, I feel like normally I would end the episode right now, but I feel like I want to just break this right while it's fresh in my head because I think I know exactly what we need to present evidence for. I think it should be pretty obvious, right? Maybe it isn't. From save point. It is true that the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong? You know, monsieur. Yes? Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment. A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that. And a bit too male. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it, with evidence. With evidence! But I did not kill him, I swear. You must believe me. I don't believe that he actually killed him. I had to go along with it because there was a reason why I could not refuse. I'm gonna make you an offer which you can't refuse. John's loan contract. You have a $500,000 debt, don't you? $500,000? Is this true, Mr. Armstrong? Oui, je suis désolé, I was weak and I borrowed la monnaie. This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. Oh, there's another freebie done here by showing a picture of Furio Tigre before they actually cause you to present evidence. Furio Tigre. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything. This man told you. Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong. La Tiger. He told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On la day in question, it was meeting a victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried la body in la inconscient magia in la dining room area. And into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket were recovered from the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well? No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it, I was not. It was despicable. Mr. Godot, you will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. 30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, trite. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go on either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. To be continued. Okie dokie then. Save clear stage chat up to this point, yes. I believe that we're almost... I think that we're going to finish the third case in the next recording session, actually. January 8th, 1:21 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1. So we're finally going to see the tiger in the stand? Nope. Not till the next episode. Or, yeah, not till the next episode. But yeah, I feel as if, yeah, I feel as if the third case is almost over. In which case I can finally let off, once the fourth case starts, I'll finally be able to let off the reins as to who Godot is, because, you know, it was spoiled to me, right? But, I saw, like, I know another YouTuber that I follow is also doing a playthrough of the game, and I saw a screenshot of, one of the first few episodes that they had a screen of Case 4, because of the thumbnail, and it was quite obvious from very early on that, yes, this is indeed Godot. So once that happens, I'll finally be able to reveal who it is. I guess it should be pretty obvious, but I think, because that's just been bugging me, because it's like it sort of spoils the experience, I think, because like I know who it is because it was spoiled to me, and I sort of just been like anyway, whatever the case will be. That was quite interesting. Now we just have to take out Mr. Don Tigre, the Tiger, and do a bunch of other stuff, I suppose, huh? So, without further ado, let's go ahead and end things off here. So, if you like this video or this series of videos, please feel free to leave a like. If you thought it was cool, please feel free to subscribe and join the Elven Brotherhood today. Also, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/MegaShadowFist. I'll be sure to leave that in the description. By the way, I always do this in an accent! I'll be sure to leave that in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is MegaShadowFist signing out. Bye!